Thank you, and welcome to my budget seminar. My name is Cassandra Bellamy, and I am your moderator for the evening. We are here to discuss personal finance. This is module 2 of a 5-part seminar. This module talks about understanding personal finance, where one would understand the goals and the causes of financial burdens and how they can go about correcting them. We want to address why is budgeting important, what are the goals, and what type of action plan one can put in place. First thing we want to look at is, why are we here? With that question, one might find many answers. You may be underemployed, unemployed, unable to save, credit debt, student loans, bad credit, no spending plan, you overspend, or you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. These are some of the issues. Gambling problems, looking for work, again, student loans, that dreaded credit card, and car notes. Biggest issue. Key topics of discussion. We want to look at how to determine your net worth. Let's start with that. How to determine your net worth. Most times you want to look at your income that you have coming in each month and property or assets that you have, which if you own a home, that would be an asset because you can make money off of it. Your car would not be an asset because it depreciates at times as time goes on. As soon as you actually drive off the lot, it depreciates. Next thing is how to live within your means by setting a household budget and sticking to it. Learning to pay yourself first. Learning to save. Basically, that's something that we all want to be able to do. Most financial analysts look at savings. You should be looking at a savings of at least a 3-month salary. So if you could save like 3 months of salary, that should get you through some tough times. You need to know your credit report and score, what it means and how to make corrections. You want to learn how to pay off your debt and set priorities when spending. You want to think of ways to increase your income, and then you also want to think of the importance of insurance. First thing out, what is a budget? A budget is an estimation of revenue or expenses over a specific future period of time. It helps you to see where your money is going, and it can help you save for vacations, a car, college, retirement, and it can help you stay out of debt. What is income? The flow of cash or cash equivalent received from work, wages, salary, capital, interest or profit, or land, rent. Income can also include things like child support or alimony. I'm sorry, let me go back. Okay, what is an expense? An expense, also called an expenditure, are the costs that you have, the money you spend, your bills, loan payments, dry cleaning, food, clothes, and other needs. Now, to set up a budget, the first thing you should do is identify the goals that you want to have after you set the budget and you start saving. After determining and setting up a budget, you may want to set up these specific goals. Let's say short term, buying a car, buying new furniture, pay off debt, vacations. Your long-term goal would be to buy a home, start a business, start a family, college tuition for children, pay off student loans, or retirement. And remember, when you establish a goal, make sure it's something that you can maintain. When we look at those short-term goals, most of us, we go out and we say we're going to purchase a car and we just go to the dealer and say, okay, I want to purchase a car. A lot of times you put little or nothing down. The idea of a budget and a savings plan is to say, okay, I want to purchase a car at a certain point in time, let's say a year from now. So it would be your goal to set up a savings plan where you could say, okay, if I put $25 a pay or $25 a week away, you're averaging $100 a month, and for a 12-month period, you're at $1,200. If you can do better than that, let's say $200 or $300 in savings a month, you could possibly have $3,600 to go towards whatever that goal is. If it's purchasing a car, that's $3,600 you have to put down in that car. Okay, the next thing you want to do is identify what your needs and wants are in your budget. Needs are fixed expenses such as your rent and mortgage, utilities, food, clothing, transportation, taxes, health care, child care, and repairs. We don't think of things like repairs as something that's a fixed budget, but if you own a car or own a house, you always should have income available, or you should also have savings available so that you can do those repairs without having to worry about, okay, where's that fund coming from? Where are those funds coming from to pay for service of that car or that house? Wants are usually the variable expenses, which is like the entertainment, nights out at the movie or dinner, cable, internet service, magazines, eating out again, hobbies, and cell phones. Which in today's present time, I'd say the cell phone would probably be more of a fixed expense, but it depends on who you are and how your income runs. Those are things you would have to look at. Do you really need items like these? And as you look at it, you may say, I need my cable, I need my internet service. Basically, in today's technology, you do need the cable, the technology, the cable, internet, and the cell phone. But do you really need to eat out 4 nights a week? Have lunch at work every day without taking out maybe to bring it, like a brown bagging once in a while? What are the important tools that one needs to maintain a budget and savings plan? The first thing that you could start with would be a notebook and a pen. That's basically all you need to start a budget. You write down anything and everything that you spend. This is the oldest and most easiest way for budgeting, and also the least expensive option. With this method, you can simply write down all of your sources of income and all of your expenses. And I'll be honest with you, when you start writing it down, it makes you think about what you spend your money on. The spreadsheets. The most popular spreadsheet software used for budgeting is Microsoft Excel. A spreadsheet lets you organize a lot of the information easily and does the math for you, which is a plus. There's also free online software, which is mint.com, allows you to create and group your expenses in categories and track your spending so that you can see exactly where your money is going and as soon as the transaction takes place. Financial software, you have Quicken and Microsoft Money are good. And if you have a great deal of experience with web-based software, those will get you through a budget. Easiest way again is write it down however you can, write it down the best way you can. Track your spending. Okay, the first thing that's important about doing the tracking of your expenses is to fully understand how you spend your money. Mommy. Keep records of all your deposits and purchases. record each one in your check register, which most of us don't because we just pull it up on the computer, which most times the bank will provide for you. Then you can print out your monthly statement. Make sure that everything coincides. Checks you wrote out, make sure they match what the bank has withdrawn from your account. Excuse me. And do your own math for your deposits and withdrawal, just to make sure that the bank is not taking your own little fees out, which they can do or have been known to do. This is a sample of a budget sheet. Do the math, determine your monthly income minus the expenses. And I have passed out copies of budget sheets, which will allow you to put your information in there and decide how or if it's possible to maintain a budget. But to be honest, you really could, anyone could maintain a budget, even if you're only receiving $200 or $300 a month. Is a way to maintain that budget. Budgets, again, can be easily maintained with Intuit Quicken, Mint.com, or Microsoft Excel. And the other things that you want to look out for are common financial pitfalls. Too many credit cards. We're all guilty of that some way or another. And then whenever you have them, you want to make sure that you're not paying the minimum, because it takes you a lot longer to pay those off. If you have a credit card, best advice is to pay off the highest expense one first. That way you bring down you're getting rid of some of that finance charge that you're being charged. You're also getting rid of those, right about now, the banks can charge like 28% to 31% for interest. That's a lot, especially if you're paying $100 on a bill, let's say $1,000 bill, and if you ever notice your finance charge, generally that's probably about half of whatever payment you make. If you make the minimum payment, the finance charge comes back and is actually the same thing or more. So you might as well go ahead and pay it completely off. And then make short-term and long-term range plans, and possibly stop with the overspending. Exercises and tips to remember for a monthly budget. Limit your cash withdrawals from the ATM. Give yourself an allowance. If you're paid bi-weekly, let's say you take out $50 or $100. That $50 or $100 is to last you for that 2 weeks, instead of saying, okay, I can go to the ATM or I can use my debit card whenever I go to shop. Best bet would be to take out your allowance, separate it, and put the ATM card up. I know it's hard for some people, but if you're trying to maintain a budget, that would be the best way to do it. Invest in a coffee maker versus that expensive cup of coffee. You can purchase a coffee maker for $20 and a can of coffee for probably about $8. Let's say I'm roughly about $8, and considering that cup, that box container of coffee will last you 2 weeks, you've only spent out $8 for 2 weeks. Whereas if you go to your Starbucks or Tim Hortons, you're spending $1 a day, or if you're more frequent, you're spending more than $1 a day, because Tim Hortons, small double would be $136. $136 times 5 is going to cost you about $7 a week. You go to Starbucks, you're talking about $3 or $4 a cup. So $3 or $4 every day for a week, you're spending $12 to $15 a day, a week. Considering a week to $8 for 2 weeks. You come out better with that investment of coffee maker and a can of coffee. Bag your lunch. Again, you're buying groceries anyway. Why not buy enough to last you for the week and use it sparingly versus ordering out, where an average meal from McDonald's would cost you $6.99, Wendy's $7.99. I mean, really, that's $20 that you can have a week. If you're a frequent lunch eater, if you go every day, you're talking about almost $30 a week for just takeout. Purchase groceries and cook a meal versus restaurant dining. Not sure which dining area that you can go to that you can't get a meal for less than $10 per person. But if you think about it, that $10 a person probably could buy you a dinner for 4 or 5 people in a grocery store. Rent movies versus going to the movies. I like this one because you spend $7.99 a month for Netflix or $1 per movie from Redbox versus $11 at Regal Cinema to see a movie that may or may not be great. Again, you're saving money if you do it with renting, or some people may do, they go online and download it. Same way with CDs and music. It's easier to download music and cheaper to download the songs that you want than buy the whole CD and only listen to part of it. Okay, in regards to, sorry about that. Other items that you want to look at when it comes to your budget. Why am I spending? Some people have issues with, well, it's addictive. It's been known that just like an addiction to chocolate, candy, drugs, coffee, people have addictions to shopping, spending money. We just have to learn how to say, okay, I need to make a budget. I need to stick to that budget and go forward from there. This basically concludes my seminar on budgeting, or module 2. We actually have 3 more modules to go through, but we will do that at a later time. As I stated, I did hand out sample budget sheets. I would appreciate it if you take the time to possibly make up a budget to see how it relates to you. See if it's something that you can actually do. Your next class or seminar will have you, when you return, you're going to actually present a sample budget as to how you think money should be spent, where it should be spent, what your priorities would be with your spending. Things that you should do or shouldn't do, things you can do with or without. Again, I thank you for your time. Thank you.